Good day, students. Welcome to JSS 2 Basic Science, Term 2, Week 2. Today we study respiration in plants. Many students are confused about this topic because they know that plants produce oxygen through photosynthesis. So they wonder, do plants also use oxygen? The answer is yes. Plants, like all living organisms, must respire, break down glucose to release energy for all their life processes. However, plants also photosynthesize during daylight, producing more oxygen than they use. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to write the equation for aerobic respiration, compare photosynthesis and aerobic respiration, explain anaerobic respiration in plants, distinguish between gas exchange in plants during day and night, and understand the significance of plant respiration to humans and the environment. Let us explore how plants get their energy. Respiration is the chemical process occurring in all living cells by which glucose is broken down to release energy, ATP, that the cell can use for all its activities. Respiration is not breathing. Breathing is the mechanical movement of air. Respiration is the biochemical release of energy. Both plants and animals respire continuously, day and night. The equation for aerobic respiration, using oxygen. Glucose plus oxygen, carbon dioxide plus water plus energy, ATP. C6H2O6 plus 6O2 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus energy, ATP. Note, this is the reverse of photosynthesis in terms of reactants and products. Photosynthesis, CO2 plus H2O plus light glucose plus O2. Uses CO2 and H2O, produces glucose and O2. Respiration, glucose plus O2 CO2 plus H2O plus energy. Uses glucose and O2, produces CO2, H2O, and energy. Respiration occurs in the mitochondria of all cells, both plant and animal cells. Photosynthesis occurs only in chloroplast, plant cells with chlorophyll only. Section 1. Gas exchange in plants, day versus night. This is the most important and most tested part of this topic. During the day or light available, plants both photosynthesize and respire simultaneously. However, the rate of photosynthesis is much greater than the rate of respiration, typically 6 to 10 times faster in good light. Net result, CO2 is absorbed, much more CO2 used in photosynthesis than released by respiration. O2 is released, much more O2 produced by photosynthesis than consumed by respiration. So during the day, it appears that plants only take in CO2 and give out O2. At night, no light. Photosynthesis stops, no light equals no photosynthesis. Respiration continues, respiration is continuous, day and night. Net result, CO2 is released, O2 is absorbed. So during the night, plants behave like animals in terms of gas exchange. The compensation point, the light intensity at which photosynthesis exactly equals respiration, no net gas exchange occurs. Above the compensation point, photosynthesis dominates, below it, including total darkness, respiration dominates. Implication: keeping many plants in a closed bedroom at night is sometimes discouraged because they release CO2, though the amounts are very small and unlikely to be harmful in a ventilated room. Section 2. Anaerobic respiration in plants. Anaerobic respiration occurs when oxygen is unavailable or in short supply. Plants can respire anaerobically for short periods. In anaerobic respiration, in plants and yeast, glucose, ethanol, alcohol, plus carbon dioxide plus small amount of energy. C6H2O6 to C2H5OH plus 2CO2 plus energy. This is the basis of fermentation, which humans have used for thousands of years to make pito and burukutu, Nigerian traditional fermented beverages, from sorghum, millet, or maize, palm wine from oil palm, gari, from cassava. Lactic acid fermentation by bacteria, CO2 released during fermentation causes the cassava to dry and lighten. Bread making, yeast ferments sugar, releasing CO2 that makes bread rise. Anaerobic respiration produces much less energy than aerobic respiration, 2 ATP versus 36 to 38 ATP per glucose molecule. Section 3. Importance of plant respiration. 1. Energy for growth and metabolism. Respiration provides the ATP energy that plants need to actively transport minerals from the soil, grow and divide cells, synthesize proteins, fats, and other molecules, repair damage, reproduce. 2. Oxygen consumption. Plants are both producers, photosynthesis, and consumers, respiration, of oxygen. However, their net contribution is still strongly positive. They produce far more O2 than they consume over a 24-hour period. 3. Carbon dioxide release. Plant respiration releases CO2, contributing to the carbon cycle. Decomposers, bacteria and fungi, break down dead plant material through respiration, releasing CO2 stored in the plant back to the atmosphere. Section 4. Comparing photosynthesis and respiration. Photosynthesis, only in cells with chlorophyll, only when light is available, uses CO2 and H2O, produces glucose and O2, stores energy, in chloroplasts. Respiration, in all living cells, continuous, day and night, uses glucose and O2, produces CO2, H2O, and energy, ATP, releases energy, in mitochondria. Examination question. Explain the difference in gas exchange in a leafy plant between daytime and nighttime. During the day, the plant carries out both photosynthesis and respiration simultaneously. Since the rate of photosynthesis greatly exceeds the rate of respiration in good light, there is a net uptake of CO2 and a net release of O2. The plant appears to absorb CO2 and release O2. During the night, without light, photosynthesis stops completely. The plant continues to respire aerobically, using glucose and oxygen, and releasing carbon dioxide. The net gas exchange at night is O2 absorbed, CO2 released, the same as in animals. Examination question. Why does bread rise when yeast is added? Answer. Yeast carries out anaerobic respiration, fermentation, when sugar is added to dough. Glucose is broken down to ethanol and carbon dioxide, C6H2O6 to C2H5OH plus 2CO2. The CO2 gas is trapped in the dough, forming bubbles that cause the dough to rise and become light and airy. When the bread is baked, the ethanol evaporates and the heat kills the yeast. For plant respiration errors. Mistake 1. Saying plants do not respire. All living things respire, including plants. Respiration is continuous, day and night, in every living cell. Mistake 2. Saying plants only take in CO2 and give out O2. This is only true as the net result during the day, when photosynthesis is much faster than respiration. At night, plants take in O2 and release CO2. Mistake 3. Confusing respiration with breathing. Respiration is a chemical process in cells releasing energy from glucose. Breathing is the mechanical movement of air in animals. Mistake 4. Saying fermentation is aerobic. Fermentation, of alcoholic fermentation in yeast and plants, is anaerobic, without oxygen. Aerobic respiration requires oxygen. Brilliant work. Respiration in plants, glucose plus O2 CO2 plus H2O plus energy, ATP. Occurs in mitochondria of all plant cells, day and night. During day, photosynthesis rate, respiration rate net CO2 absorbed, O2 released. During night, photosynthesis stops, only respiration CO2 released, O2 absorbed. Anaerobic respiration, glucose ethanol plus CO2 plus more energy, used in fermentation, bread, pito, burukutu, gari processing, palm wine. Photosynthesis versus respiration, photosynthesis in chloroplasts, light only, respiration in mitochondria, always. Nigerian applications. Fermentation industries depend on anaerobic respiration of yeast/bacteria. For homework, A. Write the word and chemical equations for aerobic respiration. B. Explain why germinating seeds need access to oxygen.